Hey everybody, I am here to give you guys some tips on attending a BTS muster or just a BTS concert in general in South Korea. These tips are mainly going to be for foreigners. I am from the United States, so if you are from the United States as well, we are probably going to have very similar concert going experiences across the board. But these are going to be based on the musters that I just went to. Hopefully these things will be helpful. Hopefully they will be generic enough where by the time the next muster comes around, it won't have all changed and this video won't be useless. So let's get started. So my first tip, which isn't even really a tip, it's more of just like a little bit of tough love, is if you are thinking about buying a resale ticket, just don't. Don't do it. It's not worth it, especially if you're a foreign fan who has to fly all the way over here, pay for a hotel, pay for food, pay for all that other stuff. If you buy a resale ticket, you are risking not getting into the show. If you already live in Korea, if you already live in the area where the muster's gonna be and you wanna try your luck, you know, then maybe you don't care. But if you are thinking about making a specific trip all the way to South Korea for a concert with a resale ticket, I wouldn't do it. This tip will kind of depend on when the show is. But in June, it's hot and it's humid and the sun is beating down on you. And I highly, highly recommend bringing a handheld fan of some sort like this one. Bring like a paper fan or whatever you want to call it. Bring an umbrella. Don't feel awkward. Don't feel out of place. Everybody's doing it. And honestly, it's worth it. I've done it before because having the sun beat down on you is tiring. It makes you hot, it makes you sweaty. When you sweat, you get dehydrated. And then this just turns into like a not fun situation in the slightest. So bring a fan, an umbrella, wear a hat, wear a visor, keep yourself cool. I saw a lot of girls with these adhesive cooling packs that literally they just stuck to their foreheads. Those were kind of everywhere, honestly. It looked a little bit silly to see all these girls with these patches just taped or stuck to their foreheads or the backs of their necks, but gotta do what you gotta do. My battery pack honestly is pretty big and bulky and heavy, so it was a little bit of a nuisance to carry this around with me, if I'm being honest. But if you are in a foreign country where you don't speak the language, the last thing that you want really is your phone just dying. Because maybe you need to translate something. Maybe you need to look up the map for the subway, the map for how to get to and from the concert. Maybe you need to order a taxi because the trains have stopped running because the concert got out late. To me, there would be nothing worse than getting stuck in a place that you're not familiar with and not having a phone to help you out. The next thing you should bring is your army bomb. I don't have to tell you all that. You should bring your army bomb, but if you don't have an army bomb, you can buy one at the show, and it is heaps cheaper than buying it overseas. I think when I had my army bomb shipped over to me when they made the third version, it was legitimately, I think, like $103. It was ridiculous. I think the army bombs here, if you buy them here at the concert, I think it's like 30 or 35 bucks. So if you don't have one, buy it at the concert. Now I know what you might be thinking. How am I supposed to fit a fan, an army bomb, my wallet, my phone, my battery pack? How am I supposed to fit that in my little itty bitty purse? Well, my next tip is bring a backpack. Yes, you heard me right. Bring a backpack. There are no baggage restrictions at these shows, at least not at this one. Girls had backpacks, girls had tote bags. I think the hardest part about going to a concert in the States is we are not allowed to just bring any bag that we want. We can't bring a backpack, we can't bring a tote bag, we can't even bring a larger sized purse. So if the weather is hot, if the weather is cold, if it's rainy, if it's snowing, we kind of have to decide what's more important to us. Do we want to have to deal with a fan if it's hot, an umbrella if it's raining? Do we want to deal with just carrying all of that crap around with us outside and in the show? Or do we just kind of want to be like, you know what, I'll just deal with the bad weather. I won't bring any of those things because I don't have anywhere to put them when I'm done with them. So bring a backpack, take advantage of it. For the time being, it seems like it's allowed, so take advantage of it. Bring deodorant. Now, listen, Koreans don't smell. They sweat, but they don't smell. They are genetically blessed. So if you are in a concert and it's hot and you're sweating and it's crowded, you really don't want to be the stinky foreigner. I would bring some feminine wipes, just because you never know. If you want to freshen up a little bit in the bathroom, I would just bring those few little things as a just in case. Along with that, I would bring a small package of tissues because in Korea, some bathrooms don't have toilet paper in the stalls. You have to grab the toilet paper out of the dispenser before you go in, and sometimes that dispenser is empty. That happened to me on the first muster day. I went into the stall, no toilet paper, went to the dispenser outside of the stall, and there was no toilet paper. And there was a very kind army who actually just like handed me some of her own tissue so that I could go to the bathroom. So the shows that I went to in Busan were standing only. There were no seats. Even though it was standing, we all still had numbers on our tickets and they lined us up in numerical order based on that. So what that means is for about, let's see, 3 hours, we were just standing in line while they were lining everybody up and getting ready to let us enter the auxiliary field. Once you're in that line, you can't leave it. You can't go out and get food and come back with it. At least not in the area that we were in this particular situation. The food was, you couldn't get to it. There was no way. And that's before the show even starts. And then the show was, I think it was like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and you're standing the whole time for that too. So I would recommend to bring some dilly-dang snacks so you don't pass out. They will check the name on your ticket against the name on your identification. They will let you know what kind of identification is acceptable. I used my passport without a problem. Make sure that you bring it with you to the concert. They will not let you in unless they can check your name against that identification. I don't know if that's the case for all concerts here. I don't know if that's just a muster thing. I don't know if it's just a BTS thing. I don't know what. But in the States, I have never been asked to show identification when they are letting me in the arena. If you're picking up like a will call ticket in the States, then yeah, you have to show identification. But for entrance into the show, you needed to show some form of identification over here. So don't forget to bring that with you. We all know that GoPros, DSLRs, legit cameras are not allowed at concerts. But in America, we are pretty lax about filming with a phone. And I have been to a ton of BTS concerts in the States. I have been at the Barricade. I have filmed on my phone very obviously, and nobody has ever done anything about it. No big hit staff, no arena security has ever done anything about it. However, in Korea, they are a lot more strict about it. On the first day, I was pretty obviously filming a little bit here and there, without even considering like, oh, maybe they're gonna have a problem with this. I never ended up getting caught, or maybe they just didn't care. I don't know, because I was at the barricade of my section and security walked by me several times and never did anything. So I don't really know what the deal is. But on the second day, they were coming into the crowd and making girls delete the footage off of their phones. So if you think that you're going to be able to stand there and just like film the whole show, you're probably not going to be able to. You're probably going to get caught. Now, I know that there are a lot of fan sites that get away with it somehow, especially the Ultimate Dodo. I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she or they, I think there's like a group of them. I don't know how they do it. But unless you really know what you're doing and you know how to hide it, if you are just standing there like this, filming with your screen's full brightness on, they're gonna see it and they're probably gonna come up to you and make you delete everything. So kind of like at your own risk, do it, but just know that they might come and just make you delete everything that you took that day. The girls at these concerts will wear platform shoes. We're talking Spice Girl level platforms, okay? These shoes are huge because they are short. They are short. I was still taller than most of these girls with these shoes on. I'm 5'8". I didn't have a problem seeing anything in my regular sneakers, but just be aware that if you are on the smaller side, you're not going to be able to see anything because all of these other smaller girls have just given themselves 5 extra inches of height with these sneakers. And then even within those sneakers, because one of the girls next to me, she was, because we were standing for so long, she ended up taking her shoes off before the show started, and she had lifts inside of her sneakers. So she had platform sneakers on, and then inside of those sneakers, she had those like inserts that you can put in that give you even more height. They're not messing around there. They want to be able to see. So if you are short, either prepare to maybe not be able to have the best view if you are in a standing situation, or maybe it's time to buy a pair of Spice Girl shoes. I don't know. All right, everybody, those are my tips for coming to Korea as a foreigner for a BTS muster or just a BTS concert in general. I hope they were helpful, and I'll see you next time.